Hello and welcome. You tuned to The Leg Up, your weekly thoroughbred preview show, best hour of trackside television, presented by the TAB. You might have noticed I'm missing my cohorts here. I'm coming you out of the Christchurch studios today. We may get to the reasons why and behind that a little bit later on, but I'm missing my boys in Wellington as we say good morning to Paul Maoate and Stephen Hunt. Good morning, Paul. You missing me in studio, buddy?
Yeah, g'day, Thad. No. I've got Steve here with me. We're doing fine as we are. In fact, we quite like the extra space that we have here at the moment. And I know why you're down there. You're a wee bit of different gravy, to be fair. And we've got to look after the prima donnas in this company. And you're right, top of the list. But Steve, if we have a look at last week, it was Legends Day at Te Rapa, the BCD Group Sprint, the Herbie Dyke. There was some super performances.
What a day it was out of Te Rapa. It's their big day. Legends Day, and it really lived up to that title. Opie, 100 Group 1s on Legato. Great to see her back in the winner's circle. I hope he wins. Really cemented her position at the top of the market for the Oaks in a couple of weeks' time. You had Autumn Glory taking on the boys, getting the job done in the Waikato Guineas. So again, she puts herself right in the picture when it comes to the Oaks. And then you add in Ultimate Habit from the CD. It's going to be a cracking event. First time the Oaks to be run at Ellerslie over the 2-4. And then you had First Five, arguably the best sprinter in the country. And you go back 12 months ago, he was a 75 grader who had plenty of runs under his belt. But look, the stable always had him in high regard and played the patient game and worked out his ideal trip, because as a 3-year-old, he was running in races like the Avondale Guineas and the Waikato Guineas, and now he's relishing over 1,400 metres First Five. It'd be great to see him over 1,600 metres next start. But look, fantastic day, Thaddeus. A couple of betting plungers coming off for punters as well, so they've got plenty of cash stacked up for the weekend. Yeah,
one man that might have a bit of cash, the man standing next to you, I think it was his bet of the day, First Five, but he wouldn't be on his own. It was one of the worst results I've ever seen for the TAB, with First Five winning that BCD sprint. It was a huge day last week in BP, as we say good morning to you, but we moved to Matamata, and you're coming fresh off the re-debut of Out the Gate last night. Good morning.
Yes, good morning team. Yeah, we stretch across the motu today, aren't we? With you here in Christchurch, here in Auckland with me, with the beginning of Out the Gate season 2026. Not quite reaching that destination that we'd love to get to on Out the Gate, but we gave ourselves a chance, most importantly, but just came up a little short in the race that stops a nation. And of course, that is the extra race at the Addington Greyhounds. But we're looking forward to what's in front of us over the weekend. I'll tell you one thing I'm looking forward to is that race next week with First Five, because it really could be down to yes, Horse of the Year. Are we starting to think about Horse of the Year contentions, because we have a horse that's won 2 Group 1s at its last 2 starts, of course that being in First Five. We have a horse by the name of Maoate who won the second and third legs of the Triple Crown. He resumes back in that race as well, looking for his 3rd Group 1 of the season, so that could be an important race. Or is it going to be down to the 3-year-olds? Could a 3-year-old win an Oaks and a Derby? So I reckon next weekend's going to answer quite a few questions for the 3-year-olds across a number of different spectrums, and also what we see with our best horses in the country as well.
I hadn't even thought about that, BP, but I don't mind that chat. That is a very interesting little battle between First Five and Waitack, and maybe a 3-year-old to throw itself into the mix. But First Five couldn't have been more impressive of what it did last Saturday. We'll come back to you, Pops. Maiden of the week time. What have you found for us?
Look, I've gone back to Te Araha, and it was only a couple of days ago, and it matched up like a race that was going to be the maiden of the week, because you had Navy Ensign in there who continued to run seconds in good races, but didn't quite deliver on this occasion. But a horse that had been on a number of people's lips for a couple of preparations and delivered. And what I did like about Sister Kiani here on Wednesday is that she really did settle underneath Joe Doyle. At times she's got a little keen in running. She hasn't quite let down when expected. She's gone round, I think she went around maybe $1.20, $1.30 in a couple of those early maiden races where she wasn't able to prevail. But look, a nice win, and maybe that's just the confidence booster that she's needed to be able to get that win on the board. And the way that she sprinted past the leader, we can probably follow the race a couple of horses in behind, but I think more importantly about her getting that win on the board, Sister Kiani, might be that boost she needs to press on into her career.
Do we follow Navy Ensign anymore, BP? Just as an aside, put a string of seconds together. What do we do?
Yeah, look, it was a frustrating watch. Look, it was a horse that looked to try and build momentum into the race. I guess you can play one forgive card as it was coming back in distance to 1,150 metres from 1,400 metres, and there was a break in between runs. But constantly running into those better horses, you just thought that maybe that was the opportunity there. So do we play one more forgive card, or do many think that that might be it for Navy Ensign? So that next race is going to be crucial, with that horse maybe stepping up a little bit further in distance, and I'm sure they're probably hoping for a better draw as well.
Yeah, Sister Kiani, a deserved Maiden of the Week for BP. Well, we move from Te Rapa, where they had a huge day there, to the big day at Matamata. Steve, let's talk about weather and track for breeders and slipper day.
Yeah, tricky one, Thaddeus, because there's a bit of showers or rain around in the last, 24 hours. In particular, if you're watching the show live on Friday. Race day, a fraction improved in terms of weather, but as you see, currently a soft 6, rail back in the true position. They had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, which was an improving track that day. I think at the top of the day it was an 8 and got improved to a 6/5. So, yeah, back in the true position. You go back 12 months ago, Thaddeus, this track was very much on speed. It was a good 4 that day, so we're probably not going to get in the same profile as 12 months ago, but you wanted to be in lanes 1 and 4. But I think the track may be a touch fairer. The fact that we've got a bit of irrigation, not irrigation, but natural irrigation, should I say, on the surface in the last 2 to 3 days.
Okay, very interesting. We want to start in race number 5. That is the J-Swap Contractors Matamata Breeders for the fillies. Stephen, geez, dominant favourite. Why not?
Unbeaten filly for Mark Walker and Sam Burgess, Lara Antipova. $1.65 was presented, Thaddeus, now to $1.35. Clearly the best back runner, probably the best back runner on the card thus far at Matamata is number 1, Lara Antipova. In front of Te Encontro, Liguria in that third line at $6 and Hawea at $9. So a $19, should I say, off an early quote of 16. So overall, a market that's dominated 1 with a couple there fighting out that second line.
When they start backing them at these short quotes, BP, you can take a lot of confidence out of it. The debut win was very impressive, but I think this one in the Wakefield might have even been more so.
Well, it was. She went to another level here, didn't she? I mean, she's collectively won both of her races by 12.5 lengths. It was a demo job at Te Araha where they just climbed into the price that day. She won by 8 lengths under an absolute stranglehold of Craig Grills. And then here, this effort where she just, it was like Craig Grills pushed a turbo button and went straight past them. And the horse that she went past too, you've got to remember that horse on the rail, Lassified, ended up coming out and winning the Wellesley at its following start. So there's fairly decent form there. And even the horse that's run last in that race is McGill, who just about pulled off the upset of the year, of the century just about, you would say, in the Karaka Million when finishing second to Dream Rocker. So form stacks up, and to the eye, she was absolutely breathtaking, their team. So she is the obvious one to pick off what we've seen there. But I guess, Paul, there's one other horse here that everyone's got on their lips as well, and it's Te Encuentro, with what we saw with a very good performance from back in the field to slice and dice and win at Ellerslie.
Yeah, and she was very, very good here. Look, she had a wide draw. Grills decided to settle her at the back. She was still last at the turn, as we can see, and then just showed a super turn of foot to burst through for the win. Look, she was really, really impressive here. These juveniles can get a wee bit sort of nervous in close quarters. She just pushed through like a champion in the making, and she will be the main threat to Lara Antipova on Saturday. Liguria wasn't that far away, to be fair, and then came out next start and beat the hot favourite. You don't have to remind me, because I know who I wanted to win that race, Harvey Warbanger. Liguria went over the top, and Hawi, I thought, was a little bit unlucky. Couldn't find enough room, but then did pick up over that last sort of 50 metres, so certainly not out of it. But Lara Antipova will be very tough to beat, but if someone can, I think Te Encuentro is a big chance.
You've gone early. Champion the making. I know she's a daughter of Frankel, but you've really pushed the boat out there. We mark that down, please, producers, and we'll be coming back to that one. But I do want to have a look at Liguria's start after that one, Steve. And look, knocked off Harvey Warbanger here, which, look, Harvey's putting together the seconds. We'll speak about him in a minute. But this was a sharp improvement off that first fourth.
It was a well-ridden this day by Warren Kennedy, the stable jockey for Cambridge Stud, got in that trailing/stalking position, Thaddeus, in a race that overall was dominated by horses on speed. Little change from the 400 metres onwards. You see Harwood there running into 4th position. She got back from a wide draw and was doing all her best work late and through the line, the daughter by Hal Bent, and she'll stick to the 1200 metres here with a softer draw. Hopefully she can position one or two pairs closer. But look, Liguria, a deserving winner that day, got the right run, came to the lane 4 or 5, which looked to be the ideal spot that day at Ellerslie. She'll have to step up here, as you say. 2 starts ago on debut, she got beaten by T and Quintro there, so at Ellerslie. So she'll have to turn the tables there, and also obviously she's got Lara Antipova to challenge as well. So deserving to be in that top 3 in the market, but again, we'll have to lift.
Yeah, I was going to have to lift to beat this favourite BP, because into $1.35 heavily backed. Is there anything we've missed in the breeders? And this sort of screaming same race multi a little bit to me, this race.
It is, yes, because we've already lost Dashing Dixie, who could have been a player with maybe pushing forward in the race, but that horse comes out of the event. Definitely Harwood run a number 4 was okay, I thought, in that race we've just seen, and unlucky in the T and Quintro race. So maybe you could entertain. I'm really liking the exacta. I think that the Lara Antipova T and Quintro exacta sits around $3, and then you could leverage off that one more time and take that combination with either Liguera or Harwood to run into that 4th position, and I think that sort of sits around $4, $4.20, somewhere around that mark. So that was the thinking. Looking to play Lara Antipova and T and Quintro in an exacta, and look, should there be that much difference between between both of them? I guess is a little surprising to see how short she has got, but she's brought the numbers. She was very impressive in what she did last time out to the races, and as I said beforehand, we've got a couple of runners that have backed it up. So it's all there around Lara Antipova, but T and Quintro can be a big improver.
Yeah, I know you think T and Quintro can be a big improver, Paul Maoate. Paul, did I see the dreaded no bet there from Stephen Hunt, Paul? Is that what are we thinking here?
Okay, no, you've got me. I'm done. Fair dinkum.
Just release your bet, come on.
Okay. Well, obviously, with the weight of money that we've seen on the favourite Lara Antipova, the rest of the field has drifted. So it'll be interesting to know from Steve, even though he's not going to have a bet on the race, whether he thinks Lara Antipova will shorten even more before we get to race start time. If so, I'm keen to just hold off on Tia and Quintro, because I think we'll get a few more dollars there. She's out to $5 as we speak at the moment. I was really, really impressed with the way that she won at her only race day start. Look, taking on a filly who has a combined winning margin of 12.5 lengths after only 2 race day starts is imposing. But I think if anyone can do it in this race, and I think it'll set up nicely for Tia and Quintro, so I'm going to go Tia and Quintro for the win here. Hopefully, we might even get a wee bit more than the $5 on offer as we speak.
If anyone can tip against the $1.35 favourite with a combined winning distance of 13 lengths, it's you, Paul, to be perfectly honest. So good luck to you. Steve, explain yourself around your no bet, because I know you'll have a good rationale behind it.
Oh, look, I'm keen on Lara Antipova. The ratings are there, and we know 2-year-olds can lift or regress from start to start, knowing they're still babies and learning their craft. But Lara Antipova looks to be the horse to beat. $1.35. Look, $1.65 was a little bit overs, and I can understand why they've backed her into $1.35. I reckon that price holds up. I can't see it drifting anytime soon. So the rest of the field will notably drift. Maybe Tia and Quintro might hold that second line, but the rest of the field, if you like anything outside the top 2, they could considerably drift on race day. Look, I don't want to take the $1.35, but at the same time, I don't want to back against her. So, look, I'm happy just to sit in my armchair, watch the race unfold. I love this day because you've got the Matamata slipper and the breeders, which we'll touch on shortly. And when it comes to the Sistema in 2 weeks' time, 90% of these 2-year-olds commingle and come together, and you can get a real line in the sand and judge the 2 races being on the same track, same distance on the day. So I look forward to that every Monday after the Matamata Breeders' Day. So I'll be intriguing to see how it all unfolds. But again, not wanting to take the $1.35, Thaddeus, but again, not wanting to back against it.
Question for Thad.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, do you know where Lara Antipova comes from? Larissa Emiliava Antipova.
She's a literary character, isn't she? From, is it War and Peace, Tolstoy or Dostoevsky or?
Very close. Dr. Zhivago.
Dr. Zhivago. I knew it was a roundabout. I knew it was a roundabout. You've shown me up. Thanks very much.
We're cultured, Thad. We're cultured.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was cultured, but I've blown it at the final hurdle. Look, Lara Antipova is going to be awfully hard to beat. The race screams same race multi. Paul Maoate's found a champion, though, in T and Quentro and the Matamata breeders.
Hey, I got a lot of faith in you. I'll stick with you, kid, that's the
Lance O'Sullivan Award time for another week. BP, who's going to get the winning prize this week?
It's pretty hard to go past the jockey that's been able to notch up 100 Group 1 wins, and that's where we're heading. Last weekend, of course, Owen Patrick Boston was able to receive that 100 Group 1 victory with Legato out of the Herbie Dyke. And yes, he was in the nervous 90s and on a very nervous 99 for a period of time. And even much so, he left the park and sat down and came back out and was able to then find that extra run, did Opie Bosson, to raise the bat and reach that 100 mark. And it was a goal that's been in the front of his mind since he's come back from his comeback. And he's been able to do that now, and I'm sure that will be a weight off his shoulders as well. And what a victory it was aboard Legato. She was a mover in the market. Boy, punters wanted to be around her. They felt I'm sure you felt the momentum swing there out of Wellington, Thad, with the money that came for Legato, and over the top she came and took out the Herbie Dyke with Opie aboard.
Yeah, it was great to see her back. Well done to Ken and Bev Kelso, but obviously, more importantly, congratulations to Opie Bosson. I know the content team at the TAB was sitting on their 100 Group 1 wins graphic for Opie Bosson for about 18 months. So they finally got to use it with Legato saluting in that Herbie Dyke last weekend. Well done to Opie Bosson, the champion jockey that he is. Race number 3 on the card is the Fairview Matamata Slipper, Steve, and got a $2.80 favourite here.
Yeah, and a deserving favourite, I think, Thaddeus, with Harvey Warbanger, even though he's just hasn't reward punters in the last couple of starts. $2.60, gone out a couple of clicks to $2.80. Kinneard in that second line, again a slight drifter, 3 out to $3.30. Here's the money, incandescent, $8.50 into $5.50. Thank you very much. Just in case, winner on the track last start at $7. Out of the blue, matches dollar for dollar with the best bet runner Incandescent at $9.50 does number 3. King of the Year for Stephen Marsh at $9.50 and State of Valor best of the rest at $23. So look, a developing market, and I don't think it's stopped right here, Thaddeus. There's a little bit to work out between now and race close.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought it could have been either way here with the favouritism, because the last time Harvey Warbanger and Kinneard clashed BP, it was in the Eclipse Stakes, and Kinneard got the better of him.
Yes, very much so. And look, Harvey Warbanger had to come around and produce a long, sustained run. But I mean, here you're thinking, well, we're good. Harvey's home. He's going to sustain that run. But then Kinneard really put in a strong burst closer to the rail, and of course it was a winning burst that meant the horse got outrageously short in a Karaka Million on the day. It was a strong surge of money, and of course he didn't turn up on Karaka Million night, did Kinneard, but maybe back to the home track will be a friend to him back at Matamata tomorrow. And yeah, Harvey Warbanger, of course, off the back of that, then looked like was the winner in a video that we've already shown you when run down by Liggeria. Has a soft draw. I'm sure they'll be hoping that they can utilise that draw by giving the horse a nice quiet run and having that one final shot to present and try and go past him, and that might be the key for Harvey Warbanger. And I didn't mind Incandescent, because I think the 2 performances we've seen so far from that horse, they could have gone to the Karaka Million. They decided to pull back and get ready for this sort of period of racing through Matamata, and then looking at those 2 Group 1s. Paul will bring you in around the next video we want to show you, and of course this is around Just In Case. It was a 4-horse race beating State of Valor, and I thought at this point of the race, Just In Case looked in a little bit of trouble when the Cambridge stud horse came off the back of Just In Case, but found nicely and kicked away beautifully here for Chris Shaler.
That's exactly it as well, BP. As you say, just a small field, 4 horses in the race, but he had every right to, I guess, just have who was at State of Valor go past. He held on tough. I really did enjoy the way that He was able to tough that out. You could argue that Street of Ellen maybe didn't quite get the opening at a premium sort of spot, but when he did, you would have thought that he might have picked up and gone past Just In Case. It didn't happen. If we look at Just In Case, the start before that as well, I think we've seen improvement from his first start where he finished second behind Speed Demon. He's still very, very green for mine, but he's starting to step up. He'll need to step up again on Saturday, but he's certainly got the ability to do that. So I don't mind Just In Case, and I don't mind the price that we're getting at the moment.
Okay, it is a bit of an outsider in this market, Steve. I do want to have a look at another form line in this race, and it comes from King of the Air for Stephen Marsh. 1 start, 1 win, well backed this day, and gets off the heavy 10 to get on a soft 6.
I think that's a key stat you mentioned about the heavy 10, because we know that it's currently a soft 6, Matamata, with showers forecasted on Friday. So it's going to be somewhere in that soft range. Matamata possibly might even get no better than a 6, Thaddeus. So this will be a key stat, because as you say, as you see on footage here, this was a genuine heavy track at New Plymouth. Yes, it had the right conditions to suit in terms of the way the track played that day. It was very hard to make ground, so you probably could add a little bit of merit to In the Vineyard, who finished second, who had race day experience over King of the Year. But from barrier 2, I can see Matt Cartwright leading here. I don't see a huge amount of pressure. Just In Case from a sticky gate will come forward, sit second outer, and King of the Year, as I say, ticks that off-track form line from its debut run at New Plymouth, which I think is vital for babies who are still, as I say, learning the game.
Yeah, what do you think, BP here? Kinnaird, Harvey Wallbanger, 6-7, 7-6, or Incandescent. Is that in the mix somewhere?
Haven't heard of 7-6, but anyway. Yeah, look, I think Incandescent may be on the each way, just with the chance of getting a fairly decent run in transit. I think it's a tough race, and I think the other part of it is the rain. With the opportunity of a fair bit of rain around, just makes it a bit murky, doesn't it, as we're 24 hours from the race. But I like what I've seen from Incandescent so far this preparation, and I like also that they decided against going towards that Karaka Million and having a shot at these better races coming up. So if you've been with Harvey Wallbanger though, and I know it will be hard if you have pushed those chips in, look, there is an opportunity of going one more time, but it depends on how deep your pockets really are around Harvey Wallbanger. But I'm pretty keen to keep him close to my chest if you're playing any sort of bet type, if it's quaddies or if it's the same race multi as well.
Oh, how deep are your pockets, Paul Maoate? Because I see you've jumped ship. You're with the Tiaka runner that was heavily backed in a Karaka Million in Kinnaird.
Yes, I have, Thad, and there's a reason behind that, because my pockets aren't as deep as yours, so I just can't go with Harvey Wallbanger again. I would not be surprised if Harvey did get up and win, but he's had enough of my money, so I'm going to have a look elsewhere. I'm going to forgive Kinnaird for the run on Karaka Millions night. If you have a look at the other 2 starts, and we saw one of them where he did come up along the rail and get in front of Harvey Wallbanger, we see Kinnaird back to that sort of form. It'll be very, very tough to beat, but once again, as Stephen mentioned, there's a heavy rain watch for the area over the next 24 hours. So we're speaking live on Friday morning. The track conditions could change significantly by the time we get to the start of this race. So yeah, it's a bit of a sit and watch for mine, but Kinnaird, I'm on.
Okay, Paul Moate's off. Stephen Hunt, you're on.
Yeah, I'll stick with Harvey again. The confidence levels are just soft, but happy to stick with him. He's still running some very good races at stakes level. A few of these horses have got to step up from maiden grade up to stakes level, and historically it's been a bit murky, these 2-year-old races at Matamata, on the back of horses that bounce out of the Karaka Million, knowing that those juveniles have been there to peak. They've had to freshen up for a possible guide to a Group 1 in a few weeks' time back at Ellerslie. So, yeah, I'm happy to stick with Harvey Wallbanger. Gets a soft draw. Rory Hutchings knows the horse now that he's had one ride for the individual. We'll be watching King of the Year, though, if the rain does fall between now and race day.
Okay, an intriguing Matamata slipper this year. Right, we've reached the halfway mark, which means it's time for a little How Bizarre.
So that Te Incontro, what the hell is that?
Tea and Quattro.
Say that again?
Tea and Quattro.
Tea and coffee.
talking about legendary, there was the launch this week of the Meadow Fresh. Have you seen this? The Meadow Fresh Fantasy League for herds of cows. They've got a herd of 500 cows. You pick out your cows, make one of them your captain each week.
How you work that into a track report, I will never know. But anyway, that's what we do around here.
How old do I look compared to Ricky Martin?
Do you think you're Ricky Martin?
No, I'm the same age as him though.
Ricky Martin's got a lot of work done though, you can tell by his face.
Yeah, I bet you I look as young as Ricky Martin does.
That's not a very nice photo.
You don't look younger than Ricky Martin in that, eh, Rod?
And somehow I've got a watch on.
Aiden, you look like Ron Duffy. Ron Duffy the second.
Might not be that many winners tipped here on the show this week, I don't think.
So I haven't
Tough
been
old
here.
race.
Yeah.
So I haven't been here.
Yeah,
Did we
well,
lose to the other people?
That's what we needed.
We did. To the other people.
Yeah, not enough has been done or made of the thrashing the leg up gave the form in that punters competition. They're going to have to right the wrongs as well. We're going to need something, some sort of meal or some sort of recompense for our win there. And look, Paul Maoate, I can safely say no one's heard of the Meadow Fresh Cow Fantasy League. You see Emily's face glaze over, and she went off to another place as Aidan was trying to describe that one, Paul.
Well, as long as they're talking about beef and they're talking about how they're going to cook it, because I'm looking forward to a really good slap-up meal. I looked at that picture that they just had on before, and I thought, am I standing next to Zach Galifianakis?
A ripped Zach Galifianakis, I'll have you note. Yeah,
Big
very
time.
good. No point going to BP at the moment. We'll come back to him a little bit later. You'll keep Paul Maoate. You will definitely keep. Race number 7, or 6 rather, on the cards, the Lisa Chittick Champagne Stakes. An intriguing 3-year-old heads this market, Steve.
Yes, her name's Belle Chevelle on the back of winning the Elmanzor Trophy. $2.90, just out one clip to $3. In front of Captured by Love, here's the quality mares in the race at $6.50. Ardalio, who ran in this race last year at $8 as a 3-year-old. Smart Love at $8 back in trip. Lux Libertas at a $9.50 quote, who was dangled out at $14 when betting commenced all the way back on Wednesday. And Mary Shan also a firmer 12 into 10. Best of the rest is Ploy. Ryan Elliott has the engagement there from barrier 1.
Let's start with Belle Chevelle BP because it's an intriguing runner coming off the very, very good effort in the Elmanzor.
It was, yeah, brilliant ride, and look, it was just a win from a galloper before we'd seen Well Written, where we just went, wow, the Kiwi. They were able to secure a slot for the Kiwi, and they'll be very happy with what they've seen. And yep, she was impressive to the eye, and of course she's coming off the back of a Group 1 placing leading into this over the 1,600 metres. So there was that little query, 1,200 metres first up, 77-day break, but wasn't she explosive? She was outstanding, and we've seen a fair bit of her because we know that there was the big strong tip for the galloper leading into her first up assignment. It was beaten at Topol and then got it right at Ellerslie, and she's a main player when we see her, of course, into the first weekend of March, Belle Chevelle. So, yeah, I think a deserved favourite. But I'm keen to come to you, Paul, around this next galloper by the name of Ardalio, because the horse ran a sneaky race out of the railway, gets back in the field. We know how the race was on speed dominated and was able to make some good steady ground from the back of the field.
Yeah, and I think that's the key here, BP. She was at the back and had to make her way through this field. As you say, the ones up front, Jigsaw, and Arkansas Kurd, Swain, they were just had too much of a start on the rest of the field. But if you look at the way that she finishes off here, I like it because it's similar to the finish that we saw from Sterling Express in the railway as well. And we saw Sterling Express come out and finish second in the BCD group sprint to first 5. So I think if we just take that sort of form out of the race, I think she's a fair dinkum chance this Saturday. Once again, the track conditions will come into play.
Worried about the
draw? I think they may be coming wide later on in the day if that rain does come. So it may not be as much of a negative as if the track was going to be a soft 5 or better. So, yeah, Ardalio, even with the wide draw, I think is a bit of a chance.
Yeah, I don't think Paul Maoate puts a lot of stock in barrier draws with his selection, Steve. That'd be fair. I don't think that's a major factor in his summation, but let's have a look at this fillies and mares race. So the first of the night on Karaka Million Night, and we talk about quality mares, and Prevu loves Ellerslie, and Mary Sham, we know how good she is.
Yeah, and Prevu, who you see there, just sitting right on speed, finishes a nice second. The winner here, Moschino, just got the right race shape. You see there, stacked them up to the 600, 6.5 lengths below open class. They've rattled home just under 35 for the last 600, no not class rating. And Mary Shan, who was in that stalking position, just hit that flat spot at the top of the straight, Thaddeus. Look at her work late and through the line. She was in front, literally 25 metres past the winning post, Mary Shan. That was the query going into the race. She was dropping back from 16 to 14. She had the ideal draw not to be too far off them, which made her finish into that top 3 placings. But look, I think from on paper, a barrier 10 looks ugly, but I don't know. I reckon there's little speed here. Captured by Love from barrier 2, I think will push forward. They'll be looking to utilise that low gate and a horse that has shown tactical speed throughout her career. And Mary Shannon, I think she can just guide across with the blinkers on, sit outside lead. She's a quality mare. You go back to this preparation, she's won 3 of her last 5. She just need to replicate what she produced at Ellerslie last start to be right in the finish. I thought $12 was massive overs, and I can see her closing second fave. I don't think she'll close fave. I'll give it to the filly, but when it comes to the filly, I don't know, Pops. Obviously, they've got the Kiwi right in their line. This is a lead-up race. I reckon they would have wanted the filly to run in a 3-odd race, but the fact that there's no 3-odd race on this Saturday, they've had to go up against the older mares, which Ardalio did 12 months ago, but the 3-week window sits perfectly. I don't know, just from a wide gate, I just wonder what intent will be for Massa. They'll be back in the second half and they'll be giving some nice lengths to some quality mares that have been there and done that.
Yeah, look, it's a deserved red flag, without a doubt. And I think you then add the rain element to it as well. I feel as though this race can be tipped on its head a touch with a couple of horses who could come into it. And the 2 horses I do want to mention are both from the same bun. I mean, you've got Lux Libertas. We know that Lux enjoys getting her toe into the ground. I think she performs at her absolute best when she does, and her record in paper form will tell you that. And the other horse I want to just quickly bring in here, team, is Smart Love. Look, we've been a little disappointed, I guess, in what we've seen from her over 1,600 metres. I do wonder, just coming back to 1,400 metres, some forgiveness in the ground, let her sort of settle and try and roll into it, just might be the key to her. Maybe she needs a little bit of help with the ground, Stephen. Maybe one more chance with her coming back to 1,400 metres.
I agree totally. I wanted to pot her last start over 1,600 metres. She's just not a miler. We saw that earlier in her preparation. She's a horse that just likes to find her feet early and rattle off some really strong closing sectionals over shorter distances. I wouldn't be shocked if we see her in some of our bigger 1,200 metre races in 12 months' time. I reckon she's a horse that might even relish 12 versus 1,400 on the weekend. So, look, I agree. She's got wet track form, which she showed earlier this preparation, going through the early part of the spring. So that's no knock. She just needs to be held up at the right time to even get out to 1,400 metres. She's a bit of a heart-of-the-mouth kind of horse to watch, but obviously the ability's there. And like I say, dropping back in trip is the ideal scenario for her.
Are you with Belle Chevelle BP?
Look, I've got her on top. I'm happy to stick with her, but I'm also thinking at this stage, 24 hours out, happy to have a little sprinkle on a couple of others at some bigger prices and probably play a same race multi where I've actually got Mary Shannon in the numbers and also Smart Love as well, both to run top 4. So all 3 of those runners to run top 4 have Belle Chevelle in there, because even if if she could be the one working home through the line and be the one that's ready to go next time off if it's not tomorrow's race in the Lisa Chittick race. But I think she's still my top selection. But as I said, happy to sprinkle a couple of others into the pot as well.
What about you, Paul? Can you get away from the 3-year-old filly here in this one?
No, I've been really impressed with the way that she's gone about her business. Once again, track conditions will come into play, but right now as we speak, I think she's the best horse in the race, so I'm going with the favourite Belchevelle.
Sounds like you're teeing up. Yeah, sorry, Steve. I was going to say, sounds like you're teeing up Mary Shan for this one.
Yeah, just on Belchevelle, I think potentially she's the best horse in the race. She's yet to hit the ratings that a lot of these mares have been able to do in the last 12 to 18 months. Yes, they've had more chances to do so, the likes of Lux Libertaz, Mary Shan, Captured by Love. But look, I've got no doubt she's got the higher ceiling, Belchevelle, and she's got more upside than most in the race. But just knowing the fact that there's the Kiwi, the grand final in 3 weeks' time, Musa, Intent from a sticky gate, we'll probably get back in the second half. I just can't touch it at $2.90, $3. So just on a price sensitivity, I'm very keen on Mary Shan. I reckon she lands in the right spot. If it's not leading, it's outside the lead, and she'll be awfully hard to run down. Wouldn't want to get on the heavy range around Mary Shan because we saw her get tipped out as a fave at Harwood earlier this prep. But yeah, look, I think if you wanted to take a saver, Lux Libertaz is your wet tracker.
She certainly adds a lot of intrigue as the 3-year-old filly Belchevelle, but the marketplace is definitely saying there's a room for a potential upset with some quality mares in that Lisa Chittick Champagne Stakes. Okay, leg up boost time for another week. We're going down south. Let's not forget about Invercargill. It's Invercargill Gold Cup Day. It is Southland Guineas Day. We're going with the very speedy filly and Miss Starlight, currently trading at $2.90, the leg up boost this week. $3.50 around a very talented mare for John and Karen Parsons, Miss Starlight, in that Southland Guineas. Righto, last race, well, not the last race, but the last race at Matamata we want to have a look at is race number 8 on the card. It's the Matamata Veterinarian Services Kaimai Stakes, Steve.
She's a dealer. Look, she's been a touch unlucky, has to be said, in the last couple of runs on the back of going win-win this preparation. Open at $3.40, Thaddeus, now to $2.60. Clearly the best guide I can give to punters who are yet to invest. Checkmate in that second line, $3.80 out to $4.20. Something had to give. GG at $8. What you wish for at $8 as well in that, $7.58, excuse me. Bridal Train, $11. The CD Raider, Segundo, who had speed in the race at $23, and best of the rest is Sassy Lass at $23 quote. So, yeah, overall summary, she's a dealer, clearly the best bet runner, Thaddeus.
Yeah, everything on the drift here, BP, with She's a Dealer coming in, and it's hard to get away from these two coming out of an Aotearoa Classic.
Yeah, look, they were both unlucky. Checkmate was a tricky watch, wasn't it, in the green sleeves there. It just needed to, it was just building momentum, and it just didn't quite find the right spots to be able to run into. And She's a Dealer was back and weaving as well, and was hitting the line into 4th position. I'm really intrigued to see both of these runners go up in distance. I think they're ready for it. I think they're ready for it now in their campaign with what we've seen from them so far. She's a Dealer was good enough to run 5th in the Queensland Oaks last campaign. She's had a good body of work to get her to this point now from through those races like the Ritual Mile and that race there in the Aotearoa Classic over 1,600 metres. And another key pointer too, remember the start before she went to Queensland? She ran in a very testing track to finish into 2nd position out of Randwick. So she does have a little bit of wet form. That was a fairly wet track that day that she ran 2nd on a heavy surface. So happy enough there that she can handle conditions to say if the push is beyond a 6, that she's a big chance. But yeah, looking forward to seeing Checkmate getting back out beyond a mile as well. Paul, we'll bring you in around this next runner, and it's What You Wish For, who was able to finish into 2nd position last time out. This was in the Family Fulton Stakes, a race that was dominated by the leader who was able to keep on kicking, but What You Wish For, a nice 2nd and goes up in distance on the home track.
Yeah, and that's ideal as well. This race, I guess, dominated by tempo. It was really a sit and sprint, and the fact that What You Wish For was able to stick on and stay within cooey of the winner, Special Sakura, I thought is very, very encouraging. If we look back to the start before that, the win at Taupō was very, very good as well. A tricky gate, but once again, it might be the gate that you want when we get to race start time. So What You Wish For is certainly a big chance and is out at $8 as we speak on a Friday morning.
I always get a little bit nervous, Steve, when Alan Sharrett runners are paying double figures. But I want to have a look at the Taranaki Cup because it was extremely well backed here, Bridal Train, at its last start. If it's got into $2.40, do we go again?
I think you can, Thaddeus, because you can almost rule a line through this race start. Again, I've already spoken about it earlier in the program. We were touching on Stephen Marsh's 2-year-old in the breeders. The fact that it was very much on speed this day, it was very hard to make significant ground. And look, Bridle Train's a horse that just likes to settle in the second half of the division, so they weren't going to ride the horse upside down purely on the track conditions. So they just had to bite the bullet basically and go back to her natural racing style. And she did very well to finish close as she did into that second or third position in behind Knight's Realm, who, as I say, just got away with some soft sectionals early stages, but also found the right lane right against the paint in a day that was very hard to make ground. So blinkers go on here, steps up slightly in distance, won't mind any fire out of the track, probably doesn't again want it in the genuine heavy range. I think she's probably better somewhere in that soft range, but look, she drops to 53 kilograms. Maddie Cameron, I think, will suit this horse, needs a nice strong jockey, the way she'll map. Yeah, like I say, you never want to dismiss an Alan Sharrock runner heading up to North with the blinkers on.
Yeah, nervy price for me, very nervy price. BP, what's the betting strategy in this year's Kaimai? What might we have missed?
Maybe He's a Doozy as a runner that will appreciate some wet ground as well, and a couple of good runs of late. The last of them in behind Rosso has to be respected, I thought, as a prospect, and maybe one for those that are trying to throw a little bit of a wider selection in the quaddie or trifecta first four same race multi. Look, I did like Bridle Train on the each way. It was a great run in the Dennis Wheeler Earth Moving Taranaki Cup last time out to the races, and there's no reason why they can't get some of the spoils at a nice price at around the $11. I will go with the favourite though, and She's a Dealer. I'm pretty comfortable to be with her with what I've seen from her starts over 1,600 metres and now progressing up in distance. A little bit of cut in the ground, and even if it pushes out beyond, shouldn't be a problem. So did like her, and I'm going with the same race multi around Checkmate and also Bridle Train.
Yeah, Bridle Train coming out of that Dennis Wheeler Earth Movers Taranaki Cup. BP, it was a good run. I just wanted to get it in as well. He might have stolen your thunder there, BP. Steve, BP may have with He's a Doozy.
That wouldn't be the first time, Thaddeus. Yeah, no, very keen on He's a Doozy, to be honest. Just at a 1x3 play. Look, it's a very open race, and that's reflected on the market. But look, you go back to his body of work overall, but just in particular, his last 2 or 3 runs, 2 starts back, he finished second to Bridle Train, which we've already touched on. He carried 60 that day out of Vautaki over the mile, where Bridle Train, from memory, had 54 kilograms. It's now 55.5 or 54.5, placed 53 in terms of the weight scale on Saturday in favour of He's a Doozy. His run last start in the Trentham Stakes was very good for a horse that was a little bit unknown over the 2,100, the big roomy track at Trentham. He was 3 wide for the majority facing the breeze. He stuck on very well to finish 4th. I thought it was a really encouraging run. He's just perfectly weighted in this race with the presence of 1 or 2 other horses that rate higher. No knock on the rain affected going, so He's a Doozy out there at $26. You could do worse by a 1x3, 1x4 play.
Okay, and I jumped off Checkmate after last start, making it my best bet. Paul, and what have you done?
You jump off, I jump on. Yeah, I was really impressed with his run in the Dennis Wheeler. The Aotearoa Classic. And I think coming into this, he's a big chance. I see we're on the drift just because of the money that we've had on the favourite. She's a Dealer. I'm happy to take the 420 as we speak. Well, the odds surgeon, he's currently 480. I think that's a great price, and I think he'll be right in it at the finish. We'll get a good run for our money.
Old Surge at Matamata, you've stolen your own thunder, Paulie. It's an intriguing addition to the Kaimai Stakes, a wide open market for this one.
It was good though.
Yeah, nah, for another week. Steve, what's on the yeah and what's on the nah? What are we backing now? What are we holding fire on?
Well, I'll go to Matamata, obviously the premier meeting on the weekend, and in terms of years, Mary Shan, which I've already spoken about, $10, did peak at 12. I just think she maps well. She's a quality mare. You could do wrong by 1x2 there, Mary Shan. He's a Doozy again, we've already spoken about, $26. I reckon he shortens. Look, probably somewhere in that mid-teens. He's a Doozy. I've framed him at, but look, he'll run an honest race, and he looks to be in career best form. He's a Doozy. Desert Mystic in the last. Comes on the back of a really good second, again, at New Plymouth last on a rain-affected going. At $21, I marked them a lot short of half that quote, Desert Mystic. In terms of Nars, Ardalio, just don't like the map. She'll get back into the last second division, probably in the back 2 or 3, Adalio, and she'll have to give up some vital yardage to some quality mares when it comes to one of the features at Matamata, and up the ante just doesn't have the ratings to be a false second fave at $6. I see there's a couple of movers already when it comes to race 9, but up the ante if you like the horse, because as I say, a lot of these horses can still win, but I reckon you'll get double figures on the close, number 5 up the ante.
Okay, very juicy on the year. That's for sure. Desert Mystic, he's a doozy out there at $21, $26. I want to talk about the burning question time, BP, and I want to go to the Kiwi. We're only 2-3 weeks away from a Kiwi. I think we've got 5 slots organised. What are we thinking about the NZB Kiwi? Where do we find these horses? Where are they coming from?
Yeah, it's an intriguing one, isn't it, about what happens with the Kiwi, because we have 5 horses secured already. So Romanov, we have Lollapalooza, Affirmative Action, Belcheval, and also Well Written, who is the $1.20 favourite. But we also need to hear from what we have: Tony Ryder, we have the Cambridge Stud, Diaco, Aussie Kerr, Waikato Stud, Race, Waikato Thoroughbred Racing, Wexford as well. So there's a fair bit to play out over the next couple of weeks, and I guess one of the key race meetings, of course, will be next Saturday, because you'll get the Uncle Remus, and you'll see a lot of those horses use that like they did last year into the Kiwi. But will there be some horses that, say, don't stay in the Oaks? Are they possible horses that could come back? I mean, we're sort of a little bit light on some options out there as well. We don't probably have the Australian invasion as well. So I guess there's a bit of digging to be done over the next little while, team, with where some of these horses will come from.
Well, Britain makes it very tricky, doesn't it? Because we're almost stopping the Aussies from trekking over. That she's making them run scared, Steve, to a degree.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point what BP makes around where do you go? Do you go with a proven 3-year-old with stakes quality? A horse comes off the top of my head as Swiss Prince, who off my score holds the second best rating in behind Well Written. Well Written holds the top 3 or 4 from memory, but then you look at his Sarton win in Swiss Prince, he's right up there. Probably a slight query, 1,500, but you want to rule the line out in the 2,000 guineas when he drew barrier 1 and off track, and then he resumed and should have natural improvement when running second, the Levin Classic, and behind La Dorada, who is well and truly in the market outside Well Written at a $14 price. So again, if you want to go outside the stakes performed 3-year-olds, Oh Sweet Darling was eye-catching at Tauranga this time last week. For Chad Ormsby and Taylor Mitchell. Look, didn't rate enormously off my numbers, but again, probably has a little bit of upside. A horse that has tactical speed, can put itself in the race. Wouldn't be the worst roll of the dice for a well-bred son of Zusain, or daughter of Zusain. So, look, I don't even know if she's in the market at present, but in fact, I'll just see if she's eligible for the Kiwi. I could have really made a butcher. She is eligible for the Kiwi. So I just wanted to know if I was right or the bookies are wrong. But yeah, look, it's an intriguing one. As you say, time is not their friend at the moment. We're literally 3 weeks out. And as BP mentioned, there's a key race in 7 days' time at Ellerslie.
Okay, it's going to be intriguing 14 days with an eye to the NZB Kiwi. Last race we want to have a look at, and why wouldn't we be heading to BP's old stomping ground, Waipukurau, for the Wairoa Cup, the K9 Pet Foods Limited Wairoa Cup on Sunday. But run us through this market first, Steve.
Yeah, currently a soft 5, Thaddeus, and again, there's the odd shower between now and race day, so it's a real watch around the track conditions. But headed by Uncle Arch, who was really good in the Rumataka last start at Trentham at 3:30, in front of McCann at 6:50, Opawa Jack at 9:50. She is that compressed third line with Rusty Lane and Donny Brook. Just a Charlie at $10, just not sure where he's at in terms of prep-wise. The Underbelly at $11, and outside that, you've got an interesting runner, number 10, in Tulsa King, a 3-year-old up against the older horses.
Yeah, okay, intriguing. Uncle Arch was very good, as was Platinum Goddess and a Rumataka Classic B. We've got a couple of replays we want to have a look at, but this first is the Rumataka Classic.
Yeah, look, I think it's a good form reference for both of these horses. I really do, because I think the winner is going to be a massive chance in an Auckland Cup. He looks to be a real staying or Stayer of the Future is the precursor. And you look at Uncle Arch making some good steady ground between runners there in the white sleeves into 4th spot. I thought the Whanganui win was good as well over the 2,040 metres. So I like how the horse is building, and a great opportunity coming into the weekend's race out of Waipokoro in the Wairoa Cup, and Platinum Goddess as well, sticking on to finish into 5th position. What about this for a form reference? And let's wind the clock back as well, because this is a 3-year-old by the name of Tulsa King. I want to take you back to 2008 by a name of the horse of Sailor Gurr, who won the Wairoa Cup for Dummy Myers, and then, of course, in the same year, went on to win the New Zealand Derby. That's exactly what Tulsa King's looking at doing. They ran in the Ginger Nut Salver last time out and finished on into 2nd position. Spoke to Aaron Bidlake probably about a month and a half ago, 6 weeks, and he said the great Dummy Myers took a horse to Wairoa to win the Cup and then to go to Ellerslie and win a Derby. He said that's what we're going to do. So that's why they're here at Waipokoro in a Wairoa Cup as their preparation run towards the New Zealand Derby. And he sits at around $11, does Tulsa King, and pretty keen to maybe keep that on side for a same race multi as well after that good run in the Ginger Nut Salver.
Have you got a bet in the race, BP? What do you like?
Yeah, Uncle Arch and Tulsa King. I think they're both nice plays. You could throw Platinum Goddess into that same race multi. I'll go Uncle Arch as probably the overall play, because the precursor form line looks to be a good one. But yeah, respect Tulsa King at the price. Look, you've got Just Charlie in there, the underbelly. It's a good field. The club will be happy how that field's been assessed for Sunday.
Yeah, it's a really good field. If I was at Whanganui, I'd be all over Uncle Arch. I think he should be odds on at Waipokoro. I'm not so sure. Boys, we'll come to you. Have you got bets in the race?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lisa Ladder and Platinum Goddess each way. I did like that run for 5th at Trentham last time out. I think she'll be better for that, and we'll see a good run from her.
Steve?
You're pretty keen on Uncle Arch. Maps well, would just need to do a copy and paste job to what we saw at Trentham. This is a step back in terms of quality. There's no precursor here. Tulsa King, interesting runner. The Ginger Nuts rated poor on the clock, so I don't know if it's a genuine Derby contender, but saying that, he struck the right year in terms of 3-year-old colts and geldings, staying colts and geldings. It looks to be a poor lot thus far, so maybe he might prove me wrong and be a genuine Derby chance, but look, I wouldn't rule him out on Sunday. He strikes a race where, if you look at the top of the book, the higher weighted gallopers, just not sure where they're prep wise in terms of the likes like Power Jack and Just Charlie and the underbelly. So yeah, he'll get his right opportunity down in the weights.
Okay, it's certainly a good edition of the Wairoa Cup. We're in for a big day at Waipokoro on Sunday. Leg up, foreplay time. Let's get it right. Where it's your chance to win a $100 4-leg bonus cash multi on our 4 Good Things of the Weekend. Head to the TAB Facebook page, interact with the leg up question this week. We want your favourite Matamata Breeders winner, BP. Kick off our foreplay.
All right, well, I'll go to the slipper on Matamata Breeders' Day, and I do like the chances of Incandescent to run top 3. Small field, should be able to get a nice sit just in behind them, and top 3 at $1.55. I'm happy to run with that.
I'm going to go to Matamata as well, race 2. It's over 1,200 metres, and I really like the daughter of Done Deal, Alacritus, number 10. Comes off a win last time, has had a bit of a spell, but the early money is on. All we want is a top 4 finish from Alacritus, $1.80 at the moment.
You've been given the tap on the shoulder, 276 days fresh. Stephen Marsh, Go Racing. Where have you found that from? Anyway, I'll go Matamata race 6, Mary Shan. All what I've mentioned earlier in the program, top 4 at 230 maps, well quality mare.
I've gone for Peerless. You can do worse than take O'Sullivan Scott at Matamata. In good form. Good second to Sulgatani last time out. Yes, it's a big field, but I think it'll be finishing top 4 at $1.45. That 4-play multi could return you $830.46. Head to the TAB Facebook page for your chance to win. Who knows where Paul Maoate gets them? Who knows where Paul Maoate gets them? It's best bet time for another week. Before we look forward, we have to look back. This replay could be long on my one. Massive day at Te Rapa, Herbie Dyke Day. It's BCD Group Sprint Day. BP, we're going to come to the hot hand. We need another winner from you as your best bet.
Look, I'm going to roll the dice a touch on my best bet this week. I'm going to take on Miss Jones, who has won 3 on end, and I'm going to go with the second favourite in that race by the name of Sati.
Miss Jones popped the question. Sati's going to get the last run at her. Miss Jones needs the post. It came up in time. Miss Jones 4 in a row in NZ. Miss Jones beats Sati.
I'll head to Te Rapa as my best. Halfway through the card, race 5, the Sir Patrick Hogan Karapiro Classic over the 1,600 metres. Stephen Marsh, the stable's flying, loving to gravitate towards one of his individuals. Number 9, Khaleesi.
That's gold, rambling on, Young Jackson. That's gold in front from rambling on. They hit it. That's gold. That's gold. Won it. Second over rambling on. Third at the line was Young Jackson. And then we had Is That All and Khaleesi in photos.
Well, if BP is going to roll the dice, I'm going to spin the roulette table and I'm going to the BCD Group Sprint. I love the look of First 5. Comes off that win in the Telegraph.
It's First 5, the local in front at the 100 metres. He's to the roar of the crowd. He's in front from here to Shock. Late run Sterling Express. But First 5, the try. First 5 wins the BCD Group Sprint. He's a back-to-back Group 1 winner.
I've got the race number 1 on the card. Also looking for a little bit of value this weekend, and I'm with the Debbie Sweeney train. Will it?
Butterfield going to Esperanza and Kananaskis. Butterfield on the outside, got up. Bit of an upset in the first. Butterfield won it from Kananaskis. And Willett will be the last of them home.
Grillsy butchered it. Grillsy dead set butchered it. No, he didn't. He did not. I hope Craig knows I'm joking around Willett. Pulled its block off, ran itself into the deck. 9 into $5. I was on the market mover, but you can't eat value. That's what an old boss of mine used to say, BP. What's your best bet at this weekend?
Oh dear, I'm still getting over a couple of things there. Sati, wow, good thing beat. But let's go to this week, and I'm liking She's a Dealer. I thought the horse has been outstanding this preparation, and up in distance to the 2,000 metres looks to be a nice spot for her. Cutting the ground, okay, so we'll run with her. She's a Dealer as my best bet in the Matamata Veterinary Services Kaimai Stakes.
I'll go to one of the features, the Lisa Chittick Champagne Stakes at listed level. I'll go with Mary Shan. I'll copy and paste job from a foreplay. Just can't ignore that $10. $12 early in the week. I think she starts or challenges second line at roughly around that $6 quote, Mary Shan. I think Craig Grills will show intent, push forward, sit outside lead. She'll be awfully hard to beat if she can replicate what she's produced this preparation.
I'm also going to head to Matamata, the J-Swap Contractors Matamata Breeders Stakes, the Group 2. And here she is, the champion in the making, Te Encuentro. Are those numbers right, Steve? Return on investment plus 166%. Well.
Wrap up the show.
Te Encuentro for, well done Paul, by the way. I didn't say anything. Congratulations with First 5, $13 as your best bet of the weekend. I'm going to go with the O'Sullivan Scott team at Matamata. I'm with General Minari. The money has been on both of its 2 starts since it's resumed. I think it's improving. Gets barrier 5 here, and I think General Minari will be awfully hard to beat at around $5 there. Race number 2 on the card at Matamata for a big weekend's racing there. Paulie, talk about promos. What are we playing for this weekend?
Yeah, we've got an odd surge at every single race at Matamata this Saturday, and we've got a bonus cashback on selected races from both Invercargill and Flemington this Saturday. Head to the promo page, check out all the T's and C's. But yep, the promo team are doing their job and they're doing them very, very well.
Okay, the Matamata odd surge, I like that. That'll be a lot of fun come Saturday. We better get out of here. Thank you, BP, for your efforts. You on track at Matamata on Saturday?
I will be, yes. Looking forward to getting there. I know that they get right behind the day, the club, and look, both venues will be good, exciting days to look forward to, especially out of Invercargill. If you're looking for one down there in the second race, Who Rocks the House? Drawn in barrier number 1. Formerly with the Wexford Barn, having its first start in the South Island, was late scratched out of Wingatui and the other week, and runs in the second race. Might be a little nibble there, but prices around that, sort of, as I said, $5, $6, somewhere around that mark. But yep, and looking forward to your coverage tonight, Thaddeus, as well. Of course, the reason why you're in Christchurch is you're heading to Super Rugby Round 1, game number 1 there out of Dunedin.
I'm about to head to Forsyth Bar Stadium. That is why I'm in Christchurch, BP, so I'll be on Sky TV tonight for all of 45 seconds. Catch me prior to kick-off there. Head to Wellington, say goodbye to Paul Maoate and Stephen Hunt. Thank you, gents. I'll be back next week. You'll be pleased to know.
Yeah. Cheers, Thad.
No comment.
An inspiring finish to the leg up. Thank you for joining us for another week. Enjoy your Matamata Breeders and Slipper Day. Enjoy Invercargill Gold Cup Day. We'll be back here in 7 days' time. This has been the Leg Up.